possible to be a Christian and not be a saint? I ain't going to ask you what the word Christian means because I'm afraid of your answer. I'm afraid you might tell me that the word Christian means Christ-like. You know what that means? If you tell me the word Christian means Christ-like, it means you never took time to look it up. My mother, I got a sister named Susie, I told you about her. She's 85, I'm 84. When I was 5, Susie was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. I wore black and Susie wore white, and Susie would always win the fight. My mother taught us never use words you had not looked up in the dictionary. My mother said, I don't care how many bishops, how many district elders, how many pastors and evangelists use the word across the pulpit. If you haven't looked it up and don't know the definition, don't use it. Here's how she taught me that. In 1938, that's before y'all's grandparents met each other. I told my best friend, I can't wait till Saturday come because I'm anxious to go on the Sunday school picnic. My mother called me in the house, 8 years old, had the dictionary open to the word anxious. It said anxious, the adjectival form of the noun anxiety. Something that will put you under stress, duress, and make you very uncomfortable. And she said, since you anxious about this Sunday school picnic, you ain't going. I said, no, Mom, I didn't mean it like that. And that Saturday, all I could do is sit up and look out the window. She was teaching me a lesson not to carelessly use language. People who say Christian means Christ-like didn't look it up. Let's pretend Christian means Christ-like. If you're a Christian, raise your hand. Come on, don't be bashful. Ain't nobody here with us. I know I'm one. All right, let's pretend it means Christ-like.
Okay.
In the 14th chapter of Matthew, verse 25, Jesus Christ walked on water. Which one of you all can go out now and walk across the Susquehanna River right now? You like Christ, ain't you? Let me see you pull that off. Since Christian means Christ-like. If Christian means Christ-like, y'all have White Castle hamburgers here?
Yeah.
It's a little, you ever heard of them? You know about them. Jesus took the equivalent of 7 White Castles and fed 25,000 people. 5 fish and 7 loaves. You say, it said 5,000 men, not counting women and children. Tell the truth, anytime you have 5,000 men, ain't it going to be 5,000 sisters hanging around? Yeah. That makes 10,000. And the average biblical family had 3 children, so roughly 15,000 children, 5,000 men, 5,000 women. Jesus fed them all. If you're a Christian, take 7 sandwiches and pull that off. Christian means Christ-like, they say. In the 9th chapter of the book of Matthew, a man ran up to Jesus in verse 20. Verse 19 said, my daughter is home, she just died. Go home with me and raise my daughter. Jesus is going with the man to his house to raise his little daughter who died, that was 12 years old. And in the crowd, the Bible said a woman, verse 20, came up behind him, and touched the hem of his garment. It was a lot of men in the crowd wearing the same thing Jesus was wearing. Why did she touch the hem of Jesus' garment? It wasn't the hem, it was the him that was wearing the hem.
Yes.
She knew that this particular fellow was different than the rest of them. Immediately, the woman was healed with a 12-year issue of blood. That means the woman was on a monthly period that had lasted for 12 years. That was her issue. Some people got an issue. They don't want to pay their tithes. Some people got an issue. They don't want to respect and obey the pastor. Some people got an issue. They don't want to come to church on time. Everybody got issues, but the point is, if you touch Jesus, he'll cure you and heal your real issue. Then Jesus went to the man's house and raised the little dead girl from the dead. Then in the 7th chapter of the book of Luke, the widow had named her son was being carried out dead. Now, normally in the Bible, the word dead is from the word necros, from which we get the word necrophilia, love the dead, necrophobia, afraid of the dead. The word necros usually means dead, but the word dead there in Luke 7 is not necros, it's thenko. And the word thenko means dead and prepared. That means the man died and the mortician picked him up, and the mortician removed the blood out of the body and put the formaldehyde and the alcohol and the stuff we call embalming fluid in the body. Jesus touched the casket and the dead embalmed body got up. Let me see so-called Christians pull that off. A lot of folks want to pray for you before the undertaker gets you, because they don't want the undertaker get through. But it ain't no big deal. If Jesus is going to raise the dead, he can raise a dead embalmed body like he can a person that just died.
Right.
Jesus proved his mastery over everything. So obviously the word Christian don't mean Christ-like. Is it possible to be a Christian and not be a saint? The word Christian is taken from the Greek word Christianos. On page 672, column 1, paragraph 3, Greek English lexicon of New Testament words. The word Christian means follower and worshiper of Jesus Christ. A Christian is somebody who follows Jesus and worships Jesus. Matthew 4 and 10, the Bible says, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. You serve the God that you worship. I can hang out with any one of y'all 30 minutes, and I can tell you who your God is, because you serve the God you worship. If you worship money, you serve your business and whatever you do to get money. If you worship education, you serve degrees. If you worship knowledge, you serve science. If you worship fashion, you serve clothes. If you worship your body, you serve exercise. If you worship your belly, you serve food. If you worship basketball, you serve the NBA. If you worship football, you serve the NFL. If you worship lust, you serve sex. If you worship entertainment, you serve television. If you worship getting high, you serve alcohol. If you worship sin, you serve the devil. Worship God and serve Jesus, because Jesus is the only legitimate God worth worshiping. Anybody that is not worshiping Jesus, whatever you're worshiping is illegal and illegitimate. Jesus Christ is the only legitimate object of worship in the world. Now, a lot of that stuff I mentioned is legitimate, but it ain't God. I said some people worship money and serve the business. Money legitimate. That's why you need to pay your tithes and give offerings. When Elder Smith showed me all the stuff y'all got here, they didn't give it to y'all. If Bishop Lewis would have been suffering from MDD, y'all wouldn't have, you'd still be where you used to be. Not in this nice place. You know what MDD is, don't you?
No.
Your name's Smith too, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Elder Smith, you know what MDD is? MDD is when your outgo is bigger than your income. That means your upkeep is your downfall. That means your financial can-do cannot keep up with your capitalistic want-to. Because your green is lean, your money is funny, your change is strange, your flow is low, you are broke, busted, and disgusted.
Come on.
That's MDD, money deficiency disorder.
Whoa.
The church needs money.
Talked about
Yeah.
that. We
Pay
just
your
talked
tithe.
about
Give
that.
offerings.
We just talked about that.
But don't
Yeah.
make a god out of money.
Thank you, Lord.
Right.
Worship it.
That's right.
Some people worship education and serve degrees. I'm sorry I don't know your name, young man, but I was delighted to hear that you had